We're here with Justin Moore. Late Nights and Long Necks is currently out, man, and it's doing so good. How you doing?
Yeah, it's exciting, man, to finally have new music out there. It's been a couple of years. It's crazy. A couple of weeks for an artist putting an album out. It's just kind of nonstop and exhausting, but certainly I'm thankful to have the opportunity and the platform and the outlet for my music.
How do you juggle having family, kids, and then this massive career that's kind of also your life?
Yeah. you got to prioritize. And as much as I love music and as much as I care about my music, music's down the priority list for me. So, my family comes first, obviously. But this particular album release week, I brought out my two oldest daughters and my wife. So that was fun, so they got to go on the Today Show and all the TV stuff we did and all the radio stuff we did. They got to kind of see what Dad actually does. They knew I played music, but they go, Dad, I thought you did like one interview a day. I'm like, no, I do it for like 12 hours a day when we got an album
Same
coming
questions
out.
over and over. Yeah.
So it was fun, but that's the way we do it. When I can have them out, I do. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm home, make the most of the time we do have together.
How do the girls handle being on the road? Like, are they like, wow, my dad's on stage. This is so cool. Are they like, cool, my dad's on stage?
Oh, more like the latter. I think I played 2 shows maybe while they were out, and they didn't go to either show.
Really?
Oh, no, they don't care.
What is it like for them at school? Like I always wondered, we asked Eli Youngband, like their kids thought that, they're accountants and stuff.
Yeah.
What is it like at school? Like, do they walk around? Because if I was a little kid, and you were my dad, this is weird, but I would be all over the school like, yo, that's my daddy sings the ones that didn't make it back home. Did y'all hear it yet?
Oh, no, they're more like, because we live in the town that I grew up in, which is 300 people. And so people back home, although they're very happy for myself and my family and they're proud of me and for me and all that, they don't really care. You know what I mean? I'm just like a dude.
Down the street, no one in your hometown cares.
No.
But they know who you are and they don't care. That's like worse than not knowing who you are.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly right. See, but they remember me growing up. They're like, oh yeah, that's that idiot that clank threes all every game, or whatever. And so, but the other part is I'm really involved in the community. Like my wife and I coach my daughters in softball and basketball, and so again, people are happy for us. They just treat us normal, which is another reason that we moved back home, is because I knew that would be the case, and I never wanted my kids to be affected negatively by my choice to do this for a living. And so people, fortunately, I want them to have a normal childhood, and so being back home helps us to ensure that.
Is your name on the sign? Like, home of Justin Moore?
No. People have asked me that a bunch, actually, and are surprised when I say no, because obviously nobody else who is famous, if you will, is from Poen, Arkansas.
Shocking.
Do you
I know that's surprising. Oh, Lord, no. But they don't have a sign for me, but they do have a sign from our state championship victories, which I was a part of one of.
So that counts.
In 2002. But so that shows you where the priorities lie,
So you said you were a coach, some of your daughter stuff. Have you ever gotten thrown out of a softball game?
I almost did.
What happened?
A couple of years ago. We were playing in a tournament, and one of my girls, I don't know if it was my daughter, but one of our girls on the team stole third base and was clearly under the tag and safe, and the umpire completely blew it, and so I kind of went off on her. I
mean, did you come out of the dugout all like?
Well, I was coaching third base, and I kind of raised my voice, and then I just kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on, and I think it ended with me telling the lady that I had forgotten more about the game than she'd ever know. And so finally my head coach goes, all right, Justin, you got to let it go, man. They're going to throw you out.
Is your wife just like sitting in the stands like, oh,
No. My wife is quite the opposite. My wife is the dugout mom, and she's over there having to be held back too, because we're serious about sports, and so we play really competitive. This was my oldest daughter, who, I mean, we play 40, 50 games a year. It's competitive, It's not little T-ball kind of stuff,
right.
So when we you blow a call on a big game, it's a big deal. But
They're not doing instant replay yet?
No, they need to be, apparently. But we ended up coming back winning that whole tournament, so it was all good.
That's cool. We were watching a video that you took your kids to buy your CD at the store.
My dad did, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was on the road, and so I still don't think they know what in the heck they got into.
Oh, that was what I was going to ask. Do they know like what long nets and late?
No, Lord, no. Well, at least I hope they don't know what long necks are yet. But
Are they so at home? Are they listening to your music like, oh, this is cool, or are they more into like Taylor Swift?
It's not. You know what? It's more the stuff that's on like the Disney Channel and all that stuff. So not necessarily Taylor, but anything but me, just about. Just to be quite honest.
So like, are you riding down the street like Justin Bieber, stuff like that?
Good
Drake?
Lord, no. I'm a better father than that.
Okay.
No, it's lately it's been funny that my wife and I will just turn on stuff from when we were growing up in the 80s and 90s and that kind of stuff. And of course, it's same as when we were growing up. When your parents would play something from their childhood, you're going, oh, it's terrible, And they do that same thing. And so we were playing some old rap the other day for them, cruising down the street in my 6'4", all that kind of stuff. And so there's whatever. So anyway, we play. Cotton candy sweet as gold. Let me see it.
Tootsie Roll.
And we flipped the switch there, and my 5-year-old is obsessed with this song now.
They think she thinks it's brand new.
Every time we get in the car, Dad, play Tootsie Roll. And she's made up dances to it and the whole thing. So
Wow.
You're like trying to find it on CD.
Yeah,
What do you do?
Yeah, exactly. It's just so funny. But.
And let's talk about the ones that didn't make it back home. What a great song. I remember the first time I heard it, I was actually in Florida in a pickup truck that I was renting. Don't ask me why. I was just driving around. And I heard it, and it really hit me because everyone's affected by something of that nature. Whether it's the line that hit me the most was the yellow ribbon around the tree, because growing up in North Carolina, in my neighborhood and everywhere else, I remember you would drive down the street, and maybe every other street there would be a yellow ribbon around a tree, and you knew what that meant.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I was like, wow, I know the reason why you wrote that song and why you did it, because when you performed, you would say, here's to the one. But when you were writing it and recording it, like, were you shedding a tear? Like, did it really hit you emotionally? Like, was it hard to get through?
It's definitely moving. It's emotional, as you say. And I had one grandpa who retired out of the Navy and another who was in the Air Force. And, along with my parents, they instilled in me the importance of the sacrifices that our men and women make every day, and that those men and women are to be honored and thanked and respected. And so it's something that I've always had, and it's always been something that is top of mind for me, especially with the platform that I now have. And we've been fortunate to visit bases and do some charity events for military, whether it be Warrior Project or different things. And so that's something that I've made a priority in my career, and something that I want to impress upon my children as well. And so that being said, to have the opportunity to have a song like this and to go in and record it, it's definitely moving, because I'm thinking back to, different conversations that I've had with people, about losing their son or their father or their mom or whatever the case may be. And so you obviously, when you're performing the song, whether it be live or in the studio, you're kind of thinking about those conversations that you've had over the years. And we had a song out 8 years ago now, If Heaven Wasn't So Far Away, that, a lot of the conversations were kind of the same. And to have a couple of songs now in my career that impact people's lives in a positive way, more so than just a hit record, is really special.
Are people bombarding you with stories, especially now that this is out?
Yeah, in meet and greets and grocery stores and that kind of stuff, people come up to me and tell me, particular stories or specific stories of how the song has affected them, and I love that. I mean, that's really special to me, because people, that they feel some kind of connection with me because of the song, enough to share a really intimate thing, about losing whatever loved one it is that they lost. And I find that to be an honor, that somebody would share that with me. When we first put the song out, we did a benefit at in Florida where the Parkland shooting happened. And I got to meet all of the victims' families, which was a huge honor and a blessing, but really difficult because you're face to face with these folks who have just had to deal with just unfathomable circumstances and loss and but the fact that a song like this helps them in some tiny little way is a blessing, and I just feel blessed that for whatever reason that idea dropped in my head. I don't know why it did, but I feel fortunate.
Is there any one in particular that stands out the most where someone like really came up to you and just spilled, and you were like leaving the grocery store or something where you're like, oh my gosh, like, wow.
I would say that particular event, the Parkland event, kind of hit me harder than any of them. I take and drop my kids off at school every day, and the first thing that I think about and pray about is that when I go to pick them up, they're going to be fine. And so that one hit me pretty hard as a father. It was pretty emotional.
And the video.
Yeah, I'm proud of the video. I'm proud of all of the videos we've shot over the years, but this one is really special. It was shot by an actual employee of mine, which is pretty cool. Like 23-year-old kid who did it. But there are very few actors in it, so the servicemen and women are mostly legitimately servicemen and women.
Wow.
It would be the cop or the firefighters or whatever. And I just thought he did an unbelievable job of kind of conveying the spirit of the song. And we wanted to honor not only our military, but our police officers, firefighters, teachers. We just kind of talked about, unfortunately, they're in the line of duty too. So we wanted to kind of shine a light on all of those groups. And I know we left some out, but I thought he did a really good job with doing that.
Yeah, well, we actually do a segment called Hometown Heroes, and everyone you listed off is who we like to salute and shout out. Your teachers and people in the military, police, first responders and stuff. And we use your song a lot that aspect.
Awesome.
That's the one go-to song that I think everybody can relate to. And I think that the song crosses genre boundaries. Like anyone, even if someone hates country, if you listen to that song, you can't walk away and not like it.
Yeah, I feel like it's fairly universal as far as the message, at least. Obviously, I could sing just about anything. I just rapped a while ago, and I'm sure it sounded country, so it's gonna sound country. But I think in a time that we're so divided over so many different things, I think we can all probably agree, or we should at least, that those men and women deserve our support.
So you're kind of like taking a step back from social media. Is that kind of one of the reasons why?
Well, I've never really been into social media, so I'm not really stepping out of it. I just hate it. I don't
You say you're like scared of it, or like it gives you anxiety?
Well, early on, you got to think. I come from the generation that we didn't have any of that. I didn't have a cell phone until I was maybe a senior in high school or something.
Same,
and it was, it was the one that had Snake on it.
Yeah, Snake was the Nokia.
People out there listening have no idea what I'm talking about. Some of them, but
Evan understands.
So even when I began my career 12 years ago, social media wasn't a thing. Like MySpace wasn't even a thing, and now it's obviously so huge in our business, but I'm like the old crotchety guy who I'm just like, I ain't learning that. And so I hired a guy who does it. And so I mean, periodically I'll do something, say something, but it seems like hell every time I do, I get in trouble. So I'm just like, whatever. So,
You get a call from your manager like,
exactly.
Justin, you can't say that.
Yeah, so I'm like, I just won't put anything.
Is it like that at home too, being surrounded by four women?
You can imagine. You can imagine how my success rate goes at home as far as winning battles. It's pretty poor.
Are you and your son like gonna ever team up and try to take him on?
Man. He's only 2 right now, but I'm trying to bring him along quickly, and so I have a little bit of aid around the house.
What's the most ridiculous thing you've ever done for the girls just to please them? Like,
Well, I can tell you, as a dad, you do just about anything, especially girls. I think my wife had to be out of town. This was a few years ago when we had two daughters is all we had, and I think they were maybe 3 and 5 or 4 and 2 or something like that. And my wife had to be out of town for a couple of days, so it was just me with the girls. And one of them screaming about this. You finally get one of them happy, then this one's screaming about something, and vice versa. And so all they wanted to do was make me over. So they did a complete makeover on me. Hair, nails, makeup, the whole bit.
Social media would have been great.
Yeah, I actually tweeted that. This was years ago, but you can find it online, I'm sure, if you're not old like me and know how to do it. But so you'll the point is you'll do whatever, to make them happy. So
I just had our first baby's a daughter 4 months ago. So what is your,
God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, congratulations.
Thank you. Give me some, what's your bit of advice to, us guys that are having daughters since you're a pro?
Are you moving at any time soon?
We moved when she was 1 month old, and now we're good.
This may be too late then, but I was going to say, just make certain there are enough bathrooms in your house. My wife and I, who have obviously, again, we have 3 daughters. We built our home that we're going to be in forever. Moved in like 3 years ago, and I didn't really get into the plans. I mean, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I want a bar, and I want as many bathrooms as it takes for them to never fight over a bathroom.
Wow.
Outside of that, I'm pretty easy.
That's a big deal, the bathroom.
So, yeah, if you end up having a couple more and you guys outgrow your place and you need to move, just make sure there's a bathroom for every one of them.
Good to know.
I said, I don't want to hear that when they're 14 and 16 and 18. I don't want to hear that whole argument.
Are y'all done having kids?
Oh, Lord, yes.
no more.
No, I was done. To be honest with you, I was done after the third one. I didn't even want my son. He just showed up one day.
But at least you got a boy at the end.
I did get a boy. No, I kid. Obviously, he's a blessing, and we're thrilled to have him. But I was good with my girls. People assumed it was always me pushing that we're gonna have babies until we have a boy, and that was actually my wife. She was the one that was just chomping at the bit to have a boy, which again, it's a fun experience to have one now, but I didn't feel as though I was missing out on anything by having my girls.
Yeah.
What can you tell us what the next single is going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be a song called Why We Drink, which is somewhat inspired by my mom. I mentioned I live in my hometown. Actually, my wife and I live on the property I grew up on, so we're up 500-600 yards away from my parents, and so when you need a babysitter, it's great. But otherwise, it's maybe a little close.
And that's why you drink.
That's why I drink. I kid, but we are close to my parents, and periodically, if we get a babysitter, we'll go to dinner or whatever. And we were somewhere, I don't know, a couple of years ago, just the 4 of us, and then we had a babysitter. My dad don't drink, so he drives, and the rest of us do. And so I ordered a drink, and then I ordered 2, 3, 4 more, or whatever. And my mom goes, son, mind you, she's drinking a margarita at the time. She goes, why you drink so much? I said, well, I ain't really never found a reason not to. And so I had this idea to write a song called Why We Drink. And basically it's for every single reason. If your team loses, you drink. If your team wins, you drink. I mean,
Oh, wow. That's so true. Yeah.
And so in a weird way, this is a drinking song inspired by my mother. But I felt as though I needed to elaborate instead of just the headline, Justin Moore writes a drinking song about his mom. So
that's going to be the headline we use, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for the headline.
I teed it up for you.
We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Justin, man, thank you so much for coming
y'all.
by and once again for making that song. I know it
you.
impacts a lot of people, so thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all having me.
For sure. And then we just got those.
Sure.
And then we're good.